Hello and welcome to my first installment of my videos that are to accompany my one-man metal band article that I'm writing on my website, which you can check out in the links section. Read it, catch up. This video is going to show how to assemble a metal drum set in LMMS, which is free software, Linux Multimedia Studio, which you can grab from the links in the article. It's very simple. It's free. Works on Windows. It's pretty cool. It's the closest thing you'll get to Fruity Loops that is free. All right. Freesound.org is your friend. Here you can find a lot of Creative Commons licensed sounds which are free for you to use in your works. You can find drum sets, complete drum sets that have been mic'd up. Just make sure to check your licenses that you're cool to use it. Fish through this, get some good sounds. We're jumping a little ahead here. Let's hop on over to our folder. If you're following along, go ahead and create a folder for your band. We're calling this One Man Band. That's the folder here. And we're going to first create, to keep everything organized, a sample folder. So we'll call this Drum Samples. Simple enough. And while we're in here, let's go ahead and create a Song 1 folder. But for now, we're going to deal with this Drum Samples folder. So back to freesound.org. Let's dig up a bass drum. Got some stuff here. Actually, this guy had really nice set here. Let's see if we can find it again. Yeah, if you click on Creative Commons there on the right, you'll definitely get stuff that is Creative Commons licensed. You can see here, shows you. All right, here's a real nice tom. You could loop the sounds here to check them out. Nice little interface. And you can see here the specs. This is 16-bit. It's all right, it's good enough. You really want to try and find some 24-bit samples if you could. You're going to do a lot of processing. And for our one-man band project here, we're doing this on the cheap, nice and simple. This is good enough. So let's see what he's got. So you can see the links up here. We'll go. He's got a whole kit done up. You can find the whole kit. Most likely it's all licensed the same. He's got some good toms. So while we're in here, let's grab the toms. I thought he might have bass drums, but let's go ahead and get a nice low tom. Deep. All right. Let's grab that. And grab the mid tom. This is a high one. Why not? Grab the high one too. All right, I'm just gonna grab these. Gonna put that into our drum samples folder here. Save. And we'll do the rest for our other sounds. All right, close those up. Now let's try and find a real nice bass drum. No, not for what we're doing. We're going to try and build this. We're going to do a stupid little gore grind song, like simple, nothing crazy. A little loud and fast grinding. This way we could show some blast beats, we could show some thrash. All right, let's see. Meat kick. That is pretty nice. Let's check the license. Creative Commons. Yeah, good. We'll beef that up. We'll do some stuff with that. Let's grab that. Boom. Some cymbals. Just quick crash, reverse crash. That's nice. Dramatic intro. Nice. see. That's good. Not that great. It's nice, subtle. Let's grab that. So take that one down. Save. You have to be logged in here too. Yeah, I'm on my account. It's free. Free sounds. All right. One more symbol. And let's get a China type, is always nice. China symbol. Eh. It's like we're shopping. Maybe that one. Hear that. There's a little delay at the front. You know what? That's good. Let me show you something in the LMMS to deal with that. All right. Let's grab that. I'm dilly-dallying. Let's hurry this up. All right. Some hi-hats. Boy, is that terrible. Let's try open hi-hat. Because we're not going to need a closed one for this example. Yuck. Not bad. Let's see. Nah, it's awful. You know what, though? Let's just grab it. Just for this example, you could fish out some better samples for yourself. All right. And a ride. Let's grab a ride. Oh, and it might help to get a snare drum. That would be good, right? Let's get our ride first. How about ride symbol? Otherwise, we'll get weird crap. And we still get weird crap. Ride bell loud. Not bad. Like that better. Creative Commons, download. Now hopefully all of these have some descriptive file names that'll make it easier later, because I'm not renaming them right now. And a snare drum. Feel free when you're building your drum kit to go off and build, 20-piece kit, cymbals all over the place, million toms. For this is good enough. Let's find a snare. No. It's almost realistic sounding there. No. Okay. You can tell by the waves which ones are going to be good. You can see I'm skipping around. Like, that's kind of hard to tell that it's crummy there, but you just see that's tight and short. That's actually not bad. It's a little blown out, though. Of course, I'm wasting too much time here for this example. Next halfway decent one, we're taking it. There you go. Ludwig, Black Beauty snare. Creative Commons. Let's hear that. That'll work. All right. Save. Now, did I grab this? Don't even remember. Let's see. Nope, we have it now. All right. Over to LMMS, Linux Multimedia Studio. All right, here we are, the way LMMS, this is version 4.13. This is the way it starts by default with an empty project. What we're going to do is immediately save this as, we're going to go to our one-man band folder. We're not going to put this in either of these. We're going to put this loose in here because this is going to be our drum template. We're going to start all our songs by opening this file and resaving it for a new name. But for now, it's drum template. Okay, now, a little reorganization. Let's move some things around here. Controller rack could come back here. This is your mixer for any send effects for reverb. If we would put a little snare, which we'll probably do. I'll show you how to do that. Here's our beats. Let's give us a ton of room here. This will be your, depending how many samples we load. Well, you'll see. Getting ahead of myself. All right. And this is our song editor. Most programs like Fruity Loops and the like they all have some kind of playlist and a beat editor and various other features, such as a mixer and all kinds of other stuff. What we're going to do here is just cut to the chase. We're going to open up in LMMS on the side here. We have these pop-up panels. We could load right in some default sounds, go in and pull some stuff. And there are, you could see here, there's a few things. There's already, let's actually shut this down. This default preset here, we'll get rid of this in a couple of seconds here, but this is actually a triple oscillator, which is a generic tone generator, which takes 3 waveforms and oscillates them based on different waves. This is how you can do your dubstep stuff and all that. You can offset those and you'll hear what I'm saying here. But that's not what this is about. So in the playlist editor here, you have an automation track, which we're really not going to go into in this. It's outside the scope of this tutorial. Our beat baseline, which you can see this corresponds to right up here. We're actually on our beat baseline 0. This is the name of this preset. You'll see what this all means in a minute. Sample track, we're gonna just get rid of all this stuff. We'll leave that in there. We'll get rid of this, and we're gonna add. We'll leave that for a second. Let's go back into our panel. And we'll just grab this first one, audio file processor. It's a simple sampler, just as it says. I'm going to drag this right over. Now let's get rid of this. Let's go ahead with this. And, oh, one more thing we should grab from Freesound. Stick clicks. Shouldn't be that difficult to find a good stick click. That'll do, even though it's terrible. Actually, that one's a little quieter. So let's go for that. Creative Commons. Good enough. Put that in our folder. All right, back to LMMS. Now, let's close that back up for a second. Confusing you. All right, so we've dragged one of our audio file processors over. We're going to go in here and right-click on that and rename it. We're going to call this Sticks. And we'll click on it. And right here, this little green envelope is what we want. It's going to choose our sample. Let's go into the one-man band folder. into our drum samples, and let's find the stick click. Open it. Now we can close that up. If we go ahead and click play, we don't hear anything because we haven't plotted anything on the grid. This grid, getting again a little ahead of myself. Up here, you'll see your tempo controls, your time signature. That's how many beats per measure. We're at standard 4/4 and 140. We're actually going to bump that up because we'll be grinding. So let's do something around 240 or so. That's a nice moderate tempo for some metal. And that'll count off. You'll see here, this is basic 16 beats, 4 beats per measure here, 16 total. Now if we play, we'll get our click. If we put 4, we'll hear it repeating, and what it's doing is looping through it. Nice and simple. So that's a little fast. Let's see, 2. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's actually... Now what you could do here is you can actually have more than 16 beats in this measure by adding steps here. You can add a whole other 16, and now you can see the little line split there. And now it's like we have 2 and 1. And you see here, it'll allow us to give a complete 4 count. Now, this is called beat baseline. We can come on over here and right-click on it and rename it stick count. That'll work. And now you'll see on stick count here, we have the grid on our playlist. We can rearrange these by picking up by this little holder here. And it's a little wacky sometimes, so just move slowly. But we move it up there, and now we plot 1, and you'll notice it's taking 2 spaces up because it's actually 2 measures in 1. So now if we come over and start playing our playlist, you can see it plays our beat. Very simple. All right, let's flesh out our kit. You can see where this is going, I'm sure. What we're going to do real quick is load in a bunch of audio processors, bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat, put a ride. I believe we got 2 crash cymbals and a China type. Oh, and our tom-toms. Tom. I think we got 3. All right. And we could rename these too. Sticks. I think I did rename them, but then we loaded it. So make a note, do that, load them first, then we'll rename them. It's probably defaulting to file names. And you can see also there's previous folders on here. Nice. What are we doing first? Let's do the bass drum. Meat kick. There we go. Meat kick. And we can we preview here? Oh yeah, by hitting the keyboard. A little quiet. Let's amplify that a little. Click on it. Drag up. Yeah, double click. You can actually type values. Let's double that. Ooh, too much. Back down. 150. And just a little heat. We want it powerful. Now we can close that panel too and give us some more room. Now let's close it. Right click. Let's just abbreviate real quick. Load these up. That'll work. It's a little loud, but we'll change that using the controls live when we assemble a beat here. And I recommend too that you get yourself a closed hi-hat sample, a open hi-hat sample, and a medium one. You know, get a couple different ones if you want to make a really realistic kit. The more samples you get that you load in, you can alternate back and forth, especially ride. Like ride, you should have a outside and inside, a medium, the ping, the bell. Go get an ice bell. Why not? It's free. Build a giant kit. And these will be polyphonic. They'll overlap each other. They'll just ring out until the sample's done playing. Which if you want to get crazy, you come in and you can limit the ends. I'll show you that later, actually. We can close this for now. Ride. Alright, now I will spare you the rest of this. Alright, now we have all our other samples loaded in. And for the toms, we'll want to pan these. Do this one a little left. We'll leave that a little tiny hair off center. Just a little bit. I always like to set everything up like I'm sitting behind the kit. We'll do the same for the hi-hat. A little bit to the left. This is your preference also. You want, whoops, that's volume. Don't do that. A little bit to the left. A little bit to the right for the ride. Do the same with the cymbals. One cymbal's here. One cymbal's there. Again, if you're going to build a giant kit, let's put the china over by the ride cymbal. Now, for building yourself a big kit too, try and think of that. Put a cymbal, a china type, over on the right. Depending what kind of drum set you're going to do and what kind of band you're trying to do. If you're just doing crazy experimental, nutty drum machine stuff, do whatever you want. There's no rules. But if you're trying to create a drum set and program stuff like a drummer is going to play it, don't put a china on the left and expect a 48th of a second like later to have a hit on the right with that arm. Be logical about it. Put a china over by the ride cymbal. Make sure that's the one you use when you're riding the ride cymbal, and vice versa for the hi-hat. So normally I would have about 3. I like to have 3 of everything, 3 cymbals across, a few more splashes maybe, and some chinas. More toms too. I like a 4-tom setup, but again, let's move on. Keep this simple. Now, let's just clone this here for now. Clone this track. Bring it up, and we're going to create a blank. So we're going to call this blank. Easy enough. And let's put this. Let's erase this here actually. And we don't want that, actually. Let's remove those 16 steps back to regular 4 beats per beat, 16 per measure. So what we're going to do here is leave that. We're going to clone this again. Pick it up and move it up there. And clone of blank. We're going to call this blank 2, just to make it simple. Blank 2. Click on it. And now LMMS is kind of fussy. You could see actually there, I blanked the wrong one out. So let me give you a little advice. When you're cloning and copying stuff, make sure to click on after, maybe back and forth a few times. Make sure you're on the right one, that you're editing the right one. So let's go back to our stick click here. Add our steps. Oops, we have to actually have a beat in there. Add our steps. Boom. Check that. Nice. 250. A little faster. A little faster. Notice also, we're cloning the playlist. So middle click deletes these. If you don't have a middle mouse button, I don't know what to tell you. Get a mouse with a middle button. What's wrong with you? All right. Our blank here, this is the one we wanted to actually delete those. remove, blank double X, take these out. And you have to have at least had something in there, I believe, in order to do this, for it to hold it. And sometimes it doesn't hold it, and you'll see what I mean. It doesn't keep these extra beats in here on everything. You might have to, when you add the first beat for that particular instrument. Whoops, did twice there. So you could just go back and remove. Yeah. Boom. Enough. And I did that there, didn't I? Remove. All right, just make sure they're all the same. And again, we'll see if they hold. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute here. So let's do that. That's good enough for this. For this song, that's all we're going to do. You can go crazy. You can make different configurations. You can have 3, you can have 4, whatever. Add more, have a half beat, whatever, half measure. For this, we're going to keep it simple. Now, right here, good time to save. Always save. That's why we save our and name it first, drum template. Now, I'm going to put a basic beat in here just so we can hear everything and do a little quick mixing. So let's go back here. We'll plot a stick click. Let's take it. Let's clone. Doesn't matter which one we do to test. We'll clone our 2X and we'll call this basic beat. Very original. Now again, click on it. That's what we didn't do before. We didn't make sure. I'm including you in my error. I didn't choose basic beat, which you could either choose there like you just saw me do, or click here. Click around, click, make sure you're on it. The way, make sure you're on the right thing. All right, so let's get our looper going. Even though we have no sounds, it's still counting. Put some bass drums in here. I don't know what we're going to do. Actually, since we're going to... Let's go ahead and... Very simple. Add some cymbals. And you can see all we're doing is plotting when these happen on the grid here. Very simple. Simple to step... similar to step writing on old drum machine hardware. Very easy. So there's our 2 cymbal hit. Boom, boom. Let's bring that in a little. Let's do a little drag here. Now, we can't quite get exactly what we want here. I'm probably jumping ahead here with what I'm trying to show you, but if you double click on the little black line there, you can get to the piano roll. And the piano roll allows you to set levels. So you can come in here for this beat. And you can see now it's a little softer. It's more of a ghost stroke. See? There we go. Really pop that this one. Notice they change color. You can also mouse wheel over these and whatnot. But let's add a couple of tom-toms. Actually, let's hi-hat. That's crazy loud. Bring it down a little. And of course, all this mixing is to your liking. That's a little better. Take that hi-hat down. China's a little booming. Whoops. That is weird. It's not letting me type 80 for some reason. Anyway, 80 sounds good. Alright, good enough on our basic beat that we'll never use in any song. Alright, now perfect time to save. I'll just give you a quick intro to what this mixer is down here. I don't want to get too crazy into this. We're already wasting too much time here. Let's do this real quick. Okay, so if let's add some reverb to the snare. You can see up here there's an effects channel. This effects channel's on 0 right now. That would have been on the master effect channel. We're gonna set this on its own unique channel. We're gonna click in there and drag and put it on channel 1, and that will be on this channel 1 here. And I think we can name it. Yep, snare. Double click on that and name it snare. And now we can add effects, which there's a bunch built in. You can load in some VST effects. Good luck finding ones that work right. That's on you. Plenty out there. Google's your friend. Let's find a quick reverb in here somewhere. Oh yeah, we could type reverb. Right there. Let's take that one. Boom. Now let's isolate our snare. We'll play this. You can see we're already getting some reverb. This here will solo out the snare, so you're only listening to the snare. That's how you would listen to both of them there. And now let's good enough. You get the idea. And that applies it into an effects chain here, and you can see if we run effects bank 2, it's no longer there. We go back to the snare, it's there. You also have a master volume control, a little more flexibility when mixing your kit. Alright, so good enough. Shut that off. Again, save. So for now, that is good enough for our base kit that we can use to start songs. And again, go off on your own, make a crazy kit. Mine comes down to somewhere around here. Let's go ahead and now save this as song 1. So we're taking our drum template and saving this as song 1.mmpz, the native format of LMMS. Save that in there. You'll see project saved. Now we're working with song 1. So now we can come in and start. Let's start with a blank here, and we'll clone this. And we're gonna create a intro beat. We'll just call this. We're just gonna do a real easy grind song here. Just boom, 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 thrash, grind, slow part, thrash, grind, boom, 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 end the song. Real simple. Sound like anything? All right, here we go. So intro beat. We'll need a bass drum with some crash. Boom. Boom. Let's get 2 in there. Boom. Actually, let's do a little tom action. Boom. Bang. Jun, jun. Boom, boom. Nice and simple. And then we'll plot that on here. Over to our blank 2. Clone it. And we'll rename this thrash Make sure we're on the right one. Start our looper. Looper. That's the technical term. And this one, we're going to use 2 crashes. Have every other jam here. That's more mosh at 250. Let's step this up a little. And let's say we do ride. Stop that for a second. We have 2 copies here of the same beat. You'll see in a minute. We're gonna put one there, just so you catch what's happening here. Let's play. All right, nice. Over to our thrash 2, and we're gonna just change it up a little bit. To do realistic snare rolls, don't just roll out a bunch of snares in a row. Come in and really set the levels for each snare hit. You can see when you're paused, you're where you're actually at. But you never hit the snare the same way. I mean, even if you want to get crazy, come into your beats and really change them up a little bit. Have even 2 snares of the, you know, if you're miking up your own snare, record the snare from 2 angles and mix them up, alternate them. That'll do though. Nice. All right, let's pop that. And we'll go back to that one and we'll copy it again. And notice it copied the playlist entries also. We'll just call this thrash fill. This will be the big fill to end it and go into our grind. So let's put the too busy there. All right, and again, let's really make this good enough. All right, let's go ahead and clone our blank 2 here. Clone, click on it, right click, grind. All right, and we're gonna start our looper. And Now, of course, there's tons of different grinds you can play with. This is going to be the traditional, some people call it split time, whatever. This is bass drum, snare drum, bass drum, snare drum, really fast. That's it. Very simple. Monotonous, awesome. Let's check those bass drums. Nice, they're loud enough and powerful. You know what, too? I always like to pop in a little power on that first note. Give it a little crank there. Maybe even first note there. It's going to over distort a little too. Really thick if you're going for that cruddy gore grind sound. Fat. All right. Grind. Clone it. Let's do it twice. Let's pop in some fills. Let's call it grind 2. Let's pop one on there, by the way. And we already know what this is going to look like. We're going to just do basic back and forth here. Grind 2. Stick with the pattern. Grind, fill. Even though the other one is a fill too. Usually I don't do a fill every other one, and I'll do smaller measures and whatnot. We're just rushing this real quick here. Not really, but here we go. So again, this one, let's just put the big long snare roll. Super simple. Whoops. No right click. Let's put some 2 big powerful bass drums there. Bang, bang. Let's go. Give that a little roll. Now you can also zoom in a little there if you want to get a little better. I'll build these up. The more advanced software has stuff, plugins, you could do this easier. This is ghetto way, you got to do it with LMMS. Or not. Probably something out there you can do it easier. Notice that's a little bug of LMMS if you're in the piano roll and you're using the control transport here. You come here, sometimes it's not doesn't sync up right, but that should be a harder hit, that first hit. Bang. Yeah, and even the second one there. Didn't work out what I was going for. Anyway. Good enough. So, if we play what we got here. so far. Let's go ahead and clone another blank 2. We'll do slow down. And we're just gonna boom, bang. Actually, we're gonna do a real slow down. So we're gonna actually do two beats to cover this. 2 different beats to cover this one long beat. So. So we'll do halves there. Alright, cool. Let's clone that just to get a quick start here. B. This is what this is going to do is go back and forth. So make sure you're on B. We're going to and we'll put a nice, cool China with that. Yeah. That a little more centered since we only have one. Now, something to make note. I just modified the pan on that. I really should go back to the template after I modify anything. I mean, this is the problem with not using a rewired setup, which I'm not going to go into. But something to be aware. If you change something here and you start your other song off a template, it won't be the same. All right. Cool. All right. And now when you hear these, we could drag this out here. Crazy slowdown. Cool. And we'll do real quick. We'll duplicate that, clone, kill that one, and we'll do a slowdown fill. This will just be a real short slowdown. Just gonna write a real quick song. We'll come up with some silly lyrics. All right. Again, notice, I'll put a ride there if you got 2 tom hits. Can't do that. Bass drum. You can hit a bass drum with these 2, but drummer doesn't have 3 arms. All right. So now, let's listen. Cool deal. All right, and we'll just go back into the thrash, wrap this song up real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Very basic. Back to that intro thing. Now, let's listen to that. We don't need to listen to the beginning. From the slow part, back to our thrash. You know what? Let's do one more. I did say I'd show you how to do some grinds. Let's do another clone here. Notice we're getting a little long here. Let's pull this down. All right. Grind. You can name it the same thing, but let's name it something different. Grime alt. There we go. We'll have one of these there. After the thrash, make sure we click on it. Now, before we did bass drum, snare drum, we're going to do bass drum and snare drum at the same time. Very simple. That's something I do there to just really warble it out a little, make them random, just click and drag across. All right. Nice and simple. Clone it. Move it over. That's also something you could just do, slide them around. So on this one, name it, grind, alt, fill. And I'm just going to do 2 beats here real quick. Simple. 1. All right, quick tom roll. Let's just dress that up a touch. All right. All right, good enough. Now, let's just wrap this up with some double bass. Come on down here. Double bass. Click on it. And you know what? LMMS is so buggy. I should have been saving a lot more. I usually compulsively control S while I'm doing something. If I put something down or I change beat, I just quick control S, boom. Save it. Alright, we'll do a just regular old ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nothing crazy fast. I will mix it up. All right, good enough. That'll just be a little bonus beat. I can teach you how to write songs. Just gonna show you real quick. Bunch of beats and how to tie it all together. All right, and then we'll cap it with our intro beat again, which is being repurposed as our outro beat. Real quick, you'll see here these little invisible jams there. If we turn that on, these are our markers. If you right click here, that tells it when it gets here to stop playing. Boom, and marks the end of your song, and if you set it to loop, it'll start looping. So you can stop there. There's no samples that'll be ringing out past here. That's about where it ends. So here's what we got. All right, that'll do. You know what? Let's put one more crash at the end. We can use our little jam there. Trust me, we'll need it. Boom. We'll just call this one crash. Good enough. Boom. Some cymbals. Move our marker over a touch. And let's just play it from there. There we go. That'll wrap it up nice. Looks like that cymbal sample doesn't really ring out, so we'll cap it there. All right, save. Now, in order to bring this into our audio recording software, we're going to be using Cubase in the next video. We're going to export this as... Now, I like to actually keep this outside. Now, depending... Actually, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We're going to just, for now, put these in a drum folder. Drum outs. You'll see why. In the next video, you'll see why. But for now, let's just put song 1, wave, save. Save it as a wave. Save it as high quality as your samples are. No need to save it any higher than they are, really. You're not going to improve them. We're going to save it 88.2. Actually, we're going to keep this all small in this tutorial. We'll just do it at 44.1, but you should save yours at higher bit rates, 32 float. If you're going to do any processing this way, your effects process at higher rates, and all your projects should be at the highest quality. Do them if they're going to be final recordings. If you're just screwing around, temp recordings, whatever. All right, good enough for this. Bang. In the next video, we're going to jump into Cubase and do something with this audio file. For now, check out the website, rogerbouchard.com. Links are below. Read the article, comment, tell me I suck, tell me better ways to do this. I'll tell you, yeah, I know. There's plenty of better ways to do this. This is just a way that's quick and simple and within the reach of anyone, because LMMS is free. Freesound.org provides free samples, and this is a way to get going. Even though it's a limited feature set, you can get going quick and kind of, for beginners, see graphically how to build a song and build some beats. Do it real simple. All right, till the next time.